We're gonna burn it down, burn it down. Go back. Go back. Yeah!
Hi there, welcome to United Everything Football Podcast. It's always great to come your way. We are all smiles anytime we win games, right? You know it. Anytime you win games, it's always nice. I mean, you can call it whatever you like. You can call it a lucky win or whatever. It's the 3 points that matter. This is our third win on the road in this season. We have played half of the season, and this is our third away win in the season. I mean, that puts into perspective where we've been so far this season. A very difficult campaign in the Premier League. We've moved up 12. We are 29 points, probably catching or inching closer. How many points to the magic number? 11 points. We get 40 points, and then we know we are saved from relegation. You know, that's the reality. That's the fact.
I thought you were going to talk about the fact that we are almost in the top half of the table.
Top half.
You go back to
please,
the
let us save ourselves of relegation first. After that, we can think of any other thing. So 11 points to the magic number, 40 points. Then we know we are. Look at Tottenham Hotspur. Have you seen where they are? They are going down and down and down. You check their points difference between them and Leicester, who just got out of the relegation zone. It tells you how difficult things have been for certain clubs, but that's the Premier League for you. I'm here with Kwame in Jibueti. My name is Kwame Bafo. It's always a pleasure to come your way. So we are here to talk about the game against Fulham. I don't know if you watched, not the one we did on our podcast. Go and watch the one I did on our friend's podcast. I told them that it is better for them to allow us play and come to them than we sitting back and then smashing and grabbing, because that's exactly what will happen, and exactly that is what happened. We smashed and we grabbed.
Good call.
I told them. They were like, "Oh, let's have a go at them. Let's really." Anyway,
they thought they were going to take us to the cleaners. Yeah,
that's it. Anyway, let's make a quick turnaround. But before that, please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also remember to share with your friends and leave a comment. When I come back, I'll give you the answer to the quiz. I saw so many interesting answers in the comment section. A lot of them right, a lot of them over the bar. When I come back, I'll reveal the answer and I'll set to you the quiz question for today's episode. We'll be right back after this. All right, thank you very much. Welcome back to United and Everything Football. So I have my quiz answer here and I have the new quiz question here. Let me review the answer. So the answer is Sir Alexander Chapman Ferguson. He's the first man who beat Real Madrid in any European Cup final. And that was...
Oh, you mean the last man?
The last
man to do so.
The last man to do so. And that was in 1983. He beat them 2-1. He beat them with Aberdeen. Yes, that's Alex Ferguson in a Cup Winners' Cup. A very, very interesting. For those of you who don't know, take time and go and, appreciate what Ferguson did at Aberdeen. That would make you understand how great of a manager he was. Taking a Scottish side to beat Real Madrid, a team that had won multiple Champions Leagues and all of that. It was amazing. So that's the answer. But
I saw just before I get to today's question, I saw a few people post the fact that it was probably Diogo Simeone against
Real Madrid.
Against Real Madrid.
It was a drawn game and Madrid won on penalties.
And that's the Super Cup.
That was the Super Cup. Yes, that was the Super Cup.
It's not even a major trophy.
It doesn't
really count.
Yes, it doesn't really count. So please,
quick Google check will tell you it's Alex Ferguson. A quick Google check will tell you.
Exactly. Anyway, so let me ask you today's question. Are you ready? All right, let's go. I am a two-time Champions League winner who played in the Premier League for 10 years across two clubs, winning 4 Premier League titles before retiring in 2011. I had the opportunity to play alongside Lois Saha at both of my English clubs, who am I? I'll take it again. I'm a 2-time Champions League winner who played in the Premier League for 10 years across 2 clubs, winning 4 Premier League titles before retiring in 2011. I had the opportunity to play alongside Louis Saha at both of my English clubs. Who am I? Like a man in Kumasi will say, whom am I? Whom am I? So, you know what to do.
I think that's offensive.
Oh, but haven't you heard the popular video from Who to Me?
I have. I'm still offended anyway. Take it back.
Anyway, so that's it. If you know the answer, drop it. I'm going to get my guys to start keeping a tab and a table of the people who win. Kwame, do you know what? This one is just off the cuff. It's just off my head. So this is what we'll do. All those of you who would be able to get it over the month. So we would roll this into February, up until February. Put your name in a basket here, and then we would do a ballot, and I'll just pick one name, and then we'll dash you a JC. Okay, so keep answering the question. So let's do it like that. Okay, we'll dash you a United kit, be it the home or away or anything. We'll dash you one. So that's what we're doing. All right, Kwame, let's get into the game. Enough of the other talks. We won by a goal to nil. We libered. Up until the time we scored the goal, we had not played a shot on target. And that shows you how difficult it's been. I mean, if you combine the 2 Premier League games we've played against Brighton and against Fulham, we've scored from 2 shots on target. One, and we've just had 2 shots on target and we scored those goals. One from a spot kick and then this one from Lisandro Martinez. For those who don't know, Lisandro Martinez has scored 2 Premier League goals. And guess what? Our top striker, Rasmus Højlund, has also scored 2 goals. Kwame, your thoughts?
Our number 9. He's not our top striker. Our number 9. Don't add top to his name.
Our number 9.
He's not a top player.
Hey, but he was our top striker last season. He scored most of our goals. So I'm not too
That was last season.
Kwame, let's talk
that was last season.
Let's talk about the game.
Oh God, Rasmus Højlund. Anyway, the game. All right, so Højlund started. That's how I'll start from. Højlund started right up front, but then we had a very young front 3, probably the youngest front 3 we can. As I think that if you have to go all the way back to the whole Martial, Rashford, Greenwood front 3 for the youngest front 3 to sort of hold the fort for Manchester United, like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. It's too young and too inexperienced. Garnacho, Højlund, and Ahmad. Ahmad is the shining light amongst the 3 right now. But even him, when he does play as part of the front 3 and not a wing back, you can see that he's a bit limited in what he can do. He can't isolate any player. He runs into crowded areas and doesn't create as much as he should. Doesn't make the right decisions all the time.
Yeah.
It's a front 3 that you really cannot see where they can take us going forward. Ideally, there should be a front 3 that should be behind another front 3, a more experienced front 3.
Right?
But we don't have that at our disposal right now. Zexi is the other alternative, a 23-year-old whom I always call a misfit in the system, despite the fact that he does all better than Højlund. He still doesn't do much else.
Yeah.
And Rashford has been frozen out for reasons that the coach spoke about at the end of the game, that he's not being professional enough, he's not working hard enough, and he's not going to change his stance as to whether he has to even put him on the bench. He would rather put his
those remarks were damning, seriously, very serious.
Extremely damning. Extremely damning, and I've seen Rashford post something on Instagram right now, but because we are speaking, I can't.
Let me check it.
You can check quickly. Yeah. But I'm wondering whether it's going to be a Sancho kind of Instagram report or it's going to be a Ronaldo kind of response. But my take from all this is, I think the boy has checked out.
Okay, this is what he said.
He's already said.
This is what he said. This is what he said.
What?
Congratulations on the win. That's what he said.
It's not a Sancho kind of response, is it? It's his boyhood club. He can't go down that road.
No.
But on a more serious note, he said a few weeks ago that he wants to try something new. And at that time, I told you here, but on the very day that we recorded, a couple of days after he had said that he's not going to play for Manchester United again. The reason being that I've stated the reasons already, but to even further buttress my reason was I did not see how you would say you don't want to play for the club again, and Ruben Amorim, who has come in to change things, would put you back in just because we lack bodies. It sort of goes against any sort of principles that you have. Because if somebody declares that he wants to leave, and then you turn to the person because you lack players, or you lack quality, or you lack speed, as we spoke about today, we lack speed. And he's the quickest player at the club. Forward line is the quickest player. So you're directly referring to him. He would still not play him out as a matter of principle.
Yeah.
He also added the fact that he would rather put his goalkeeper on the bench than play him.
Goalkeeper's
coach. In midweek, that's so damning. In fact, if you're being honest, it's actually insulting.
Very.
But it is what it is. I'm glad Rashford hasn't reacted in a very bad way, because he could have also gone down the other road. We've seen it before. It's not like we've not seen it before. We've seen others do it.
I mean, even you see the way he responded is interesting enough. Congratulations on the win. It's a statement too. Very silent statement.
It's silent. It speaks volumes, right? But it's over. I know it's over. When it gets here, the message is loud and clear. It's over. The sooner he finds a club for himself, the better for all of us. But speaking of this, I started with the lineup and then ended up at Rashford. But then that was our front line, Kwame. That front line, it's not good enough. It's not. Let's not overhype players. I think we are past that point where we do this thing as fans, where we are overhyping players and we are stunning players, especially Ahmad right now, because he seems to be the one who is scoring goals and assisting. We know the levels that is required.
Yeah.
If you see how he struggled today in the Premier League games, right, against seemingly good opposition, that's how he's going to be till the end of the season. He's not there yet. We need more. We need far more than that. But as to whether we can bring in anybody at all, it's a problem. Is Garnacho still going to be at the club or not? Our coach isn't even clear on whether Garnacho will still be at the club or not. He was speaking about the fact that he's improving the way he's going to play, his positioning is getting better, but today we have to play him a bit out wide.
Big him up so that you get more value. That's exactly what.
Kwame, you know what he's doing. I think both of us we're on the same page. You know exactly what is happening.
Increase his value.
Keeping his value. You're just keeping his value. He's going to be sold.
Exactly.
And if he's sold, my fear right now is if he's sold, now you are just left with Højlund, Zexi, Bruno Fernandes, and Amad Diallo at the football club for the next 3 or 4 months as our attacking options. I was having this argument with Akomia about the fact that it's better we bring what's his name, Nkunku in from Chelsea, even on loan. And he was like, no, he doesn't want us to do that, and that we are better off even holding on and not bringing anybody. Can he watch this game and think that what we have is enough to see out the rest of the season or even win a trophy? If he thinks that, I'm saying it on this podcast, if he thinks that, then he's delusional. Every fan should put his emotions away and see things for the way that they are. This team, as it is now, especially when it comes to attacking areas, is nowhere near good enough. Absolutely, it's shocking. It is shocking. And the numbers don't lie. Our top goal scorer is Bruno Fernandes with, I think, 9 goals.
Yeah.
Right? In all competitions. In the league, it's far less than that. Our top league goal scorer has 6 goals in a match. And we are past midway through the season. 6 league goals. 6. Last season, Rasmus Højlund was our top goal scorer in the league, and he had 10. It's not like it was even stellar. Nothing. It's like we're even retrogressing from what we even achieved last season goals-wise. You're struggling to score in the Premier League. And I've always said that the Premier League in particular, we are going to struggle even compared to the other competitions because physically, we are not there. We're bullied. Our front was literally just bullied today. Højlund didn't make anything stick. As part of team, people had always been making excuses for him that we don't supply him, we don't do this, we don't give him passes. The number 9 is so pivotal to how any coach, even outdate it all the way back to even Ten Hag. pivotal to how even he wanted to play, and especially how Ruben Amorim wants to play.
Do you know what I want to say? I want to say to add to what you are saying. Zexi came in, and he looked better than Højlund. And guess what? Zexi did nothing.
That's the thing. Let me finish with Højlund. This Højlund thing is sickening. For a £72 million player, right? Like I said before, let's not hang on to this hope and this stunning of players and then trying to big up players. These players, we know good players, Kwame. We know good players. He's not there. He's nowhere near what we need. We've been what's the right word to use? Is it robbed? Into paying such an exorbitant fee. Duped is the right word. Duped. It's a £40 million player at best. And truth be told, that was his value up until he joined Ten Hag's agency, and his value shot up in the space of a matter of a week to £72 million. I don't know where the extra £30 million came from. Very similar to Anthony's situation. But he held nothing up for us. He did absolutely nothing for us. He couldn't even control the football. It's so easy to play against him. And it's pathetic. It's sad. See, I took those things for granted, those qualities of any striker for granted. The fact that as a Premier League player, I expect you to be able to just hold up the ball so easily, make simple decisions. But these players are making it look like a chore.
Yeah.
Rasmus Højlund is making the number 9 position look like it's a chore, like it's so hard, it's so difficult, and he looks tired. In a very short space of time, he looks tired because he's wrestling defenders and doing unnecessary things.
The ball can't
easy to play.
The ball can't stick. He can't hold it up. He can't do anything. He can't hold the ball and draw people into your game. Because when he gets the ball, it's either he's being tapped on his feet or he's falling down and leaving the ball for an opponent to pick it up. It's very, very difficult.
This coach will not succeed if this is how Højlund is going to play. If this is how Zexi is going to play, it's not going to work. In the midfield, he dropped Bruno back to play alongside Ugarte. And I think that worked because we controlled the ball up until that part of the pitch. But then whenever the ball went into forward areas, we got absolutely nothing. The inexperience and lack of quality up front just told every single time. The only bright spot in the first half was to an extent Garnacho, but even he did not do much.
Yeah.
We didn't have a shot on target. I think the only attempt on goal came from a set piece cross into the box.
Where the legs, sort of.
That's just about it.
Yeah.
But forget about how shit the first half was. We roll on to the second half because that's where the real action started. And I'll go all the way to the 60th minute when Adama Traore was brought on. Because see, that was the game for me. The drama leading up to the game where, if people don't remember, the start of the season, very first game of the season, Lisandro Martinez body checked Adama Traore into the stands, literally, like just down the terraces. And we won the game, and then LICHA joked about it, that he sent Adama Traore to the gym. Everybody knows how well-built and strong Adama Traore is, and then he was able to shoulder him off the pitch, and then we won the game. And Traore didn't take it lightly. He was actually pissed off about it, and he responded in an Instagram tweet the next day that we'll meet again in the next game. Like, we'll meet again in the second round. And when Adama Traore came on, you could tell that he was fired up. He was absolutely fired up. He was taking people on. He was budging people. He was jumping into tackles. It was crazy, and we responded in kind. I mean, LICHA got stuck in a bit. Ugarte got stuck in a bit, but we realized that we're even coming off the wrong end of those challenges because see, the Premier League players are physically dominant and strong, and that's how we used to be. That's how we used to be. But all of a sudden, we have technical players whose physical floor is way below.
And even the technical, what are we say?
No, Kwame. The thing is, I know these players are technically gifted. The problem is you need the physicality to match up with it. Otherwise, you will not see how good technically they are. When Christian Eriksen gets the ball, it's not like he doesn't know what to do. But the speed of which he needs to be able to execute it, it's not there. There are certain players when they get the ball, they know what to do. But there's this speed and aggression that comes to the Premier League. We know how quick that league is. It doesn't stop.
Exactly.
You can be very less talented, but if you are physically dominant, you can play in that Premier League and be a very successful footballer. I'll take Newcastle's midfield as a way of comparing. Joe Linton.
Well-profiled midfield.
Joe Linton is not like your
He will push you somewhere. Very
exceptional
aggressive.
midfielder.
Very
He just gets
aggressive.
up and down the pitch, and that's perfect for the Premier League. Do you remember this Spurs midfielder, Sissoko? I think he used to play
Yes,
for France.
The French player.
Up and down the football pitch. He was a winger. They moved him to central midfield. He stayed there because he could just go up and down the
field. Even Joe Linton was a striker of a sort.
So I'm saying that's the Premier League. That's the Premier League for you. I saw Tonali do a long Boston run in the game against Southampton. Was it Southampton?
Yes,
Southampton. Win. And I was like, there is no midfielder that we have who can do
that.
Kobbie Mainoo is super technical. He can't run.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, your technicality counts for
very little. And that is why Collier looks to be thriving a bit. I mean, because
he can run.
He's got the legs. Before you could say Jack, it's not like you see him running with so much space, but he's got the legs to be able to catch up with you. He's got the physicality to be able to hold you off a bit. And that's what I'm sure Ten Hag realized very, very late. Very, very, very late. Because if he had noticed that after his first season, his second season, he would have signed players to match those physical levels in order for us to get to the point that we've gotten to. So it's absolutely true, the point you are making. But try and wrap it up quickly.
That was the game there. If you realize we are analyzing this game without really talking about opportunities, because there were no opportunities.
No.
The Adama substitution just added a bit of spice to the whole occasion. Drama to the whole occasion. And in one of our very rare forests up front, Lisandro Martinez took a punt. It's a punt. We are not going to sit here and then max it in a different way or say it in a different way. Just a lucky punt, and it took a very heavy reflection of, was it Castagna? And then
it was Sasha Lukic.
Sasha Lukic went into the goal, and that was the goal. And then we defended for the rest of the game. We defended for our lives, basically. We got off the hook when Collier headed the ball off over the line.
That was a match-winning clearance. Match-winning clearance.
Exactly. We can look back at certain games, especially under Ten Hag, and say we're a bit unlucky in some of the games because we were games that we created more opportunities than the opponent, and at the end of the day, we still lost some way somehow. The one that readily comes to mind is his last game of
West Ham.
coaching Man United at West Ham. That first half was 6-0. We all know 6-0, but some way somehow the conspiracy theory still stands that maybe these players connive to get rid of him, because I don't know how we didn't score that. So when you, like you say, sometimes I saw you post something on Twitter, very, 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 very interesting about refereeing decisions and all that stuff. Sometimes it's the referees that are poor. One day you would have one decision go for you, the next day it will also go against you. And then the season, it all cancels out. So I think today we had the rub of the green. We had a bit of luck. It went our way. We didn't work so hard for it. But I can't also say Fulham deserved to win the game either. Probably a draw would have been a fair result. But then roll on. We are further away from the relegation zone. We keep on keeping on. I think the fixtures get a bit easy, right? We play Palace at home.
We play Palace and then we play Ipswich.
Finally, we have to win a home. It seems playing away from Old Trafford. It seems to favor us now than playing at Old Trafford. Now I dread going back home. Can you imagine? Can we play all our games away from Old Trafford if it's possible?
You see, sometimes it's the crowd. It gets so tense, and the players get so tense when they are not. It's not coming off, and then teams take advantage.
Kwame, it's not that. Let me tell you what it is. Today we didn't have to take the game to Fulham to win. At home, at Old Trafford, attack. With who? Those children and those. And when they go forward, right, and then it breaks down. Right, it breaks down. Then we are vulnerable. That's the problem. When it breaks down so often because we do not keep the ball. We don't sustain pressures. We don't keep the opposition back. And if it breaks down, we are always open to the counter attack, and that is how come we lose games. It's just that simple.
Well, so that's how it happened. I mean, I was watching the game. I had a very rough weekend. I mean, not so rough because I had to travel, so I had. So I'll bring you the report. The Man United Supporters Club, of which we are all members here, went to do some donations. And so I was with the team. I was doing the coverage, of which we'll be bringing you something special. So I came back very late. I was so tired. So when I started watching the game, in fact, that first 20, 30 minutes was so flat. Absolutely nothing. And that's why Marco Silva's comments after the game really annoys me. I mean, to say they didn't deserve it, making it look like they deserve it. But in reality, they created nothing. Aside those...
To be fair to him, he didn't read his full comment. He said they at least deserved a point. He added that.
They at least deserved a point.
The fairest result from this game was a draw.
Oh, that was it. That was it. It was a flat. I didn't say, but I don't think we deserved it either. But the luck was smiling or came to our side. But I get your point. So fair to Marco Silva, but don't come and say we don't tell me that we have won. But that was the game. That was how tough or how difficult it was. I mean, it was a very difficult watch at some point. And I understand. I understand. Because we are unable to do anything up front. Our attack looks very flat. There is no... You see, Garnacho used to have that magic, taking players on and all of that. It looks to have gone. Or it looks to be something we don't see often. Højlund just can't do anything. And I was talking about Højlund and Zexi. I mean, the Zexi example I threw in was just to make us see how bad Højlund has been. Because anytime Zexi gets the ball, although he didn't do anything extraordinary when he came in. I actually didn't do anything. But you had that confidence that when he gets the ball, he can do something small with it. Højlund virtually gave us nothing because the moment the ball gets to him, it doesn't stick. And it was turnover after turnover. Because the moment you get it, and that was how make it difficult. The moment Fulham gets it, they get the ball to Iwobi. Iwobi just ran through the midfield.
They were more purposeful about what they were doing. Of course, they are the best. They are the more confident team. They are the more informed.
Exactly.
Team. So you could tell they knew what they were doing. But I think we still have to talk about one positive about our performance. I think defensively we were solid.
We were solid.
Defensively we were solid. We didn't give them anything.
Exactly.
It's just that going forward, Kwame.
So going forward is where the problem lies. You don't see the hope. And as I sit here now, I have absolutely no hope what we are going to do for the rest of the season with that attack.
No.
That's nothing. There's absolutely nothing that we are able to do from that attack. And it's very pathetic. While watching the game, I was commenting. I was like, see, Enyo should do us the honest. And just bring in an attacker, whoever. Just
bring in an attacker.
Bring an attacker.
We are even struggling to get the left back over the line, but it's also necessary because, see, there are two things that are flaws in the system. The fact that our wing backs don't offer a threat going forward.
Absolutely.
It's a huge issue because you can tell the imbalance. Today he played Mazraoui on the left-hand side.
He kept switching them.
He just wants something. He knows the wing backs need to do something, but they are not doing what he wants in the system. Mazraoui was the one who was more offensive, but when he did get opportunities to put the ball in with his left foot, he always had to cut back. Exactly. If you play download there, it's even worse. It's basically the same thing. So as soon as possible, let's get Dogo over the line. There are a lot of fans who are a bit skeptical about him, but one thing that I would say, and they should think about it very critically, the physical flaw of this team is very, very low. We keep on saying that the reason why this team is struggling, especially in the Premier League, is physically we don't match up to teams. That boy is physical.
Yeah.
I bring up this point because there's also the brigade that wants Alvaro Fernandez back at the football club. I don't think he's ready for the Premier League. He's enjoying his time in Portugal. This is his first full season. I think he still has a lot more development to go. We can trigger the clause up until 2026. It's not a matter of agency to do so. And I don't think he also walks into this team and be able to excel the way that he's excelling at Benfica. Let's not put a halt to his progress. Let him continue to flourish at Benfica, right? And when the time is right, we'll probably trigger the clause. But what we do need now is more physicality in this team. Bring in Dogo, and in the future, if you can add Alvaro Fernandez to it, then so be it. Then the last thing is your forward. Our forward. We need a forward. We need an attacker.
It's very important.
I don't care how they do it. We need an attacker.
It's so
probably even two, but at least they should bring one.
They spark nothing. I mean, you watch it and it's so flat. Anthony has left now, and he added nothing. I mean, A player leaves the club and you don't feel anything. It's sad. And this was an expensive.
That should tell you. That should tell
He
you.
felt nothing.
You know
He
that.
felt.
You know there's this brigade. There's a group of fans who I'm not part of that band. Although I'm a very huge player a huge fan of this player, who still think Rashford should be able to play in this team because nobody else is offering anything. He has the history of offering something. So if he's not going to move, then they wish they could get something out of him. But I've told you, at this point, you're not going to get anything out of him.
Oh yeah.
You're not.
I mean, mentally,
the worst
he's
thing
gone.
That can happen he's gone.
Mentally,
the worst thing that can happen to him is for him not to get a club in the next 6 days.
Yeah. It will
be
very devastating. I mean, it will be very devastating for him, for the club,
and
the value. I mean, how can a player will be there, not playing for 6 months and it will depreciate? That's the situation we find ourselves in.
The sooner he leaves, the better. So that the reason I want him to leave as soon as possible is maybe that will offer us a chance to bring in somebody on. Because once those wages go off, even half of those wages, you see what Anthony's wages has done for us.
Yes.
Even his small 100k, apparently he doesn't even earn anything close to 200k. Even his small 100k that's gone off has allowed us to bring in probably a signing in Dogo, because now we can afford wage-wise and even amortized fees-wise to bring him in. Yeah. Rashford should leave as soon as possible so that at least we can bring in another forward, whether on loan or whatever.
All right. Before we go, I'll take some few minutes and talk about the event that happened over the weekend. So when Baglo, somewhere the outskirts of Accra, went to the Oti region with the Manchester United Supporters Club. We went there to commission a borehole that the fans had come together to, do for the community. Kwame, I tell you, when you see the report, you understand. Charlie, people are living in areas and there is absolutely no potable water there. I saw the
Ghana is not Accra.
Ghana is not Accra. Seriously, I saw and shout outs to the leadership at the Ghana Manchester United Supporters Club in Ghana, from Sami Enimado to the vice president who was spearheading the whole project, and to the team, Michael Painter, Martha, myself, Fidel, all the guys that were made, James, and everyone that was present on the day. It was amazing, and everybody that made a contribution towards that. You've actually touched their life. You've actually touched their life. You could see when we're living. Do you know what they gave us? They gave us foodstuff, plantain, maize, whatever, a lot of things, and that's how beautiful it is. So during the preview to the game, the last Europa League game, we'll be here. I'll share the report here so that you get to see exactly what happened. But I just wanted to give you a snippet of what they did over there.
It's such an amazing gesture, because when you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, water, food, that's like at the bottom of the pyramid.
Exactly.
Basic need.
Yeah.
And people don't have it.
They don't.
People don't have that.
I mean, when you see the report I filed, you would understand. We will come and discuss it here when we talk about the Europa League game in our next episode of the podcast. But before we run out, a bit of information. Old Trafford, the government has agreed to assist United. So the Wembley of the North will be happening. So that's a bit of news.
It's happening.
Yes, it's happening. So kudos to Sergeant Ratcliffe. He's been able to find his way around this particular situation. So the region
he's working, Kwame. It's just that Charlie, because the results are not coming.
It's not. I mean, the whole thing about the football.
The Glazers are the problem. They are the ones who have put us in this mess. Rectifying 20 years of destroying our football club. It's not going to happen in 1 year.
It's tough. So that's basically where we are at the moment. All right, Kwame. So that's how we bring down the curtain for today's episode of United and Everything Football. It's been a pleasure coming your way. Thank you, Kwame. And thank you to you all who watched the podcast today. We'll be back in the course of the week, preferably maybe on Wednesday, with another episode where we'll discuss a lot more things here on United and Everything Football. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye bye.